All right, good morning. Good afternoon at the jail.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How are you today?
No complaints. How about you?
Same, no complaints. Should we do Miss Purnell first?
Yes, sir. Just walk right up to the table.
All right. All right, we're on the record in docket 22-01793. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Janine Y. Purnell. Will the Miss, you are Janine Y. Purnell, correct, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Miss Purnell?
yes, sir.
All right, and from the Public Defender's Office?
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Purnell for purposes of arraignment.
All right, so the Public Defender's Office is here for purposes of arraignment. Ma'am, this is the time where I'm going to read you the alleged charges against you. All right, so you'll be on notice of the nature of the charges against you. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then I'll read you some rights in regard to those charges. All right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the complaint that's filed indicates that that yourself, Janine Yvette Purnell, did on July 4th, 2022 at 1517 and a half Bailey Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, did in count one possess a firearm when ineligible to do so because he or she had been convicted of operating while intoxicated, causing injury, a felony punishable by imprisonment for 4 or more years, and the requirements for regaining eligibility had not been met. Contrary to the law of the State of Michigan, that being a felony, 5 years and or $5,000, mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device pursuant to MCL 750.539. This is a felony with a maximum penalty of 5 years and or $5,000, mandatory forfeiture pursuant to State of Michigan law. Do you understand the charges and the charges and the consequences of those charges in this matter, ma'am?
Not the charges, but
So it's what's usually referred to as a felony firearm. You were in possession of a firearm. You were unable to have a firearm because of a prior conviction, and the maximum penalty is 5 years and or $5,000. It's just an allegation right now. You understand that?
yes,
All right. You have certain rights, and you have counsel present. You have certain rights concerning this felony charge, and I'm going to go through that rights with you. Okay, ma'am?
yes,
Okay. You have the right to trial by jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove their case beyond reasonable doubt that you're guilty. You have the right to have witnesses who appear against you or appear for you at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you may have for your defense to appear. You have the right to remain silent, and that silence cannot be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to testify on your own behalf. You also have a right to be represented by counsel. You're represented today by the Public Defender's Office for this arraignment only. Do you plan to seek additional representation from the Public Defender's Office in this case?
yes,
All right, I'm going to put a yes for that then. Do you understand those rights that I've stated to you?
yes,
All right. Your next hearing is a probable cause conference, and you should receive written notice of this. It's on July 14th, 2022 at 9:30. And there should be a preliminary examination notice also, which will be the following week of July 21st, 2022 at 8:30. You should have both those notes. Do you have a current phone number that the court can reach you at for the court file?
yes.
And what number is that, ma'am?
248-905-2747.
Okay, I have the phone number is 248-905-2747. And your address,
Yeah.
ma'am? Can you state that for the
15.
file also?
1517 and a half Bailey Street.
That's in Lansing?
Yes.
And what's the zip code, ma'am?
48910.
All right. Ma'am, are you on probation or parole?
Probation. But it don't start until after I get out for my 90 days.
All right. And what is, what court is that?
I guess I'm gonna have Kennedy because I pleaded to the Swift and Short program.
Okay, so that's the 30th Circuit Court? It's
Um,
Judge Kennedy?
yeah,
Yes, Your
Judge
Honor.
Hankwood sentenced me.
It's 30th Circuit.
Sure. We're almost done with it. Ma'am, are you employed?
Yes,
Where are you employed at?
I got 2 jobs. I work at Inviting Grace.
Okay, say that again, ma'am.
Inviting Grace Home Health Care.
Okay. And then you said you had a second job?
Yeah, Sunoco's.
All right, the court will enter an automatic not guilty at your arraignment. Ms. Robinson, did you want to address bond in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Purnell is from the Lansing area originally. She did go to high school in the area and she graduated. She said that she is working 2 jobs currently. She doesn't have much of a criminal history besides she was recently just convicted and, like she said, is serving a 90-day sentence followed by probation. But otherwise, other than that, there's really not a lot. Also, this case is nonviolent, therefore I would request a personal recognizance bond. Actually, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we're going to request a 10% bond since she is serving those 90 days. So we request a low 10% bond. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Ma'am, I'm gonna, if you're able to make bond, I'm gonna give you some of the conditions that are part of the bond. One is that no use of drugs or alcohol, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no possession of a firearm, and to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. And those would indicate the bond recommendation of that you are on probation and that you not have a firearm in your presence. So that's a part of the recommendations. I see on your criminal history lower level offenses, although I do see at least one. Several felonies and misdemeanor, all dating back. So I'm going to set bond in this case at $5,000, 10%. Primarily, it's because of there is at least 3 prior felonies that I see, and a prior habitual, and the fact that you're on probation gives rise to a bond amount, a 10% amount, which is higher than the usual. not a lot higher, but there's an extensive criminal history here. Any questions, Ms. Robinson?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, so that should be all on the record in docket 2201793. Your next appearance, ma'am, once again, will be July 14th, 2022 at 9:30. And the prelim for this offense will be July 21st, 2022. That's all on the record for this file.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, we have one. Is that Mr. Clark? No. Okay. So let's do Mr. Clark next. We're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's do that one last. Yeah. I will. All right, we're on the record in people of the state of Michigan versus Avery K. Clark. That's docket 2201790. Sir, you are, and correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name, sir. You are Aubrey Keenan Brandon Clark.
It's Aubrey.
Aubrey, all right, thank you, sir.
Sir.
Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yara Khalil from the Office of the Public Defender, appearing under the supervision of Attorney Aaron Robinson, pursuant to MCR 8.120, appearing on behalf of Mr. Clark today for his arraignment only.
Thank you. And Mr. Clark, this is the time and place for an arraignment concerning this felony file. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the charges that have been alleged against you so that you have an understanding of what the allegations are. So the complaint felony reads that Aubrey Keenan Brandon Clark in count 1 on or about July 5th, 2022 at 1254 Taft Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, did in count 1 possess with the intent to deliver less than 50 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance cocaine. Contrary to the laws of the state of Michigan, that being 333.7401, parents 2, parents A, parents 4, felony 20 years and or $25,000. So the maximum penalty you could receive is a felony of 20 years and or $25,000 for possession with intent to deliver less than 50 grams of mixture of cocaine. Do you understand the nature of those charges, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to read you some rights you have in regards to that felony file. You have the right to a trial. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. To have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. To have witnesses against you appear at trial. To question those witnesses. To have the court order any witnesses that you might have for your defense to remain silent during trial. Not to have that silence used against you during the trial. And you have the right to testify at trial if you so wish. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have the right to be represented by counsel. You're represented by the Public Defender's Office today. Ms. Khalil is representing the Public Defender's Office. Do you plan to seek legal assistance or representation through the Public Defender's Office in regards to future hearings, or do you plan to retain your own counsel?
For right now, I'm planning to go to the Public Defender, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to put yes, Public Defender in file. Sir, do you have a current address that is for the court file?
Yes, Your Honor. It is 1254.
Say that. I'm sorry, sir. Say that again.
1254.
All right.
Taft, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, F as in Frank, T as in Tom. Street.
Okay, that's
Lansing, Michigan, 48910.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a phone number that we can put in the court's file?
No, Your Honor, the officers had took my phone
All
for
right.
right now.
Are you on probation or parole, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And where are you employed, sir?
Crenshaw on Grand River, and I also do retail. It's my me and my fiance own business. We sell clothing.
Yeah, the court will automatically enter a not guilty plea at this arraignment for you. And Ms. Khalil, would you like to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Mr. Clark has lived in Lansing since he was a child. He does have sisters in Lansing and cousins throughout Michigan. To my knowledge, he's never failed to appear in court. And I did find it important to note that with his job at Crenshaw with car parts, he is supposed to start back up again on Monday after a brief break from working. So we'd appreciate it if we could get him out in order to start on Monday. And if the court finds it appropriate, we'd ask for a PR bond. Thank you.
I don't have anything in my file to indicate that that there is any fail to appear. Sir, if you're unable to make, if you're able to make bond in this matter, we'll set the following conditions. So these will be the pretrial conditions of your bond. There's no use of alcohol or drugs without a prescription. No assaultive behavior. No out-of-state travel. No firearm. And at this time, we'll have you report within 48 hours to pretrial services if you're able to make bond, so they can make sure that you have contact in regards to the orders that have been set by the court. We gave you your dates. I'm going to set bond at $500 PR. That's based on, this is a drug offense. However, there's a limited criminal history in this regard, as I see. There seems to be maybe 1 or 2 misdemeanors and 1 bind over felony. So I think that's appropriate in regards to the safety of the community. Anything else on this file, Ms. Khalil?
No, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Clark, I have one more file that's just a collections file that I want to address before you're done with this arraignment. This is on docket, and it comes out of a ticket T002135-937. This is a collections ticket on an expired meter. And sir, what I'm going to do, there's $90 on the expired meter. I'm gonna administratively close this file, and then you can take up, if you want to, when you want to make restitution to the city. We'll leave that, but I'm gonna administratively close this file today.
Okay, thanks, Your Honor.
So we're all set on docket 22-01790, and your next date in court will be July 15th, 2022. All right, Mr. Clark?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're all set. Thank you. Next, we'll do Brian Cates. All right, we're on the record in docket 21-01835. People of the state of Michigan versus Brian Cates. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Cates for purposes of arraignment.
And you are Brian Cates, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Cates, this is the time set for an arraignment, and I'm going to read to you what the allegations are concerning the arraignment. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the arraignment reads, the allegation is that on or about here we go. On or about on September 7th, 2020 at Martin Luther King Boulevard, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Yourself, Brian Andrew Cates, did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine contrary to the law of the state of Michigan, that is MCL 333.7403, parents 2, parents B, parents I. That's a felony, 10 years and or $15,000. The court may impose additional sanctions pursuant to the state law. So it's possession of methamphetamine or slash ecstasy. It has the consequences of 10 years and or $15,000. Do you understand that charge, sir?
Yes.
I'm going to read you some rights in regards to that felony charge. You have the right to a tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses called on your behalf at trial. You have the right to question any witnesses brought against you. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that may appear for trial. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have that silent not be used against you in a court of law. And you have the right to testify on your own behalf. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're represented by Ms. Robinson from the Public Defender's Office for the limited purpose of this arraignment. Do you plan to seek further representation from the Public Defender's Office in regards to this file for later hearings?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to indicate yes, Public Defender for the file. You have the next hearing date, and there should be paperwork. You have a probable cause conference on July 14th, 2022 at 9 a.m. And then you have a follow-up preliminary examination on July 21st, 2022 at 8. Do you have notice of both of those dates, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, do you have an address for the court's file?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 129 Astor Ave.
All right. And what city is that?
Lansing, Michigan,
All right. Do you have a zip code?
48910.
Perfect. And do you have a phone number for the court's file?
Yeah. 517
All right.
702 8965.
Thank you. Sir, are you on probation or parole?
No.
Are you employed?
Yes.
Where are you employed, sir?
Midway Motors.
This arraignment, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cates has been in the Lansing area for about 3 years. He does have family here in the area. As he stated, he does work. He is a mechanic. He's not currently on probation or parole, and this is a non-violent offense. I would request a personal recognizance bond.
Yeah, I've got a lot of files with you, Mr. Cates, but and we do have an FTA on this file. I have an FTA at arraignment on August 13th, 2021. But But with that understanding, I have a limited criminal history. Actually, I have no criminal history except for, I do have this one. With a fail to appear, I am gonna set a 10% bond, but it's gonna be a low bond, okay? So I'm gonna set it at 10%. If you are to make bond, there's certain conditions that you'll be under. That is that you are to have no use of alcohol or drugs, no assaultive behavior, no out-of-state travel, no contact with victim. I'm sorry, that's not part of the order. So no possession of a firearm. This is a 10-year, so you will have to report to probation within 48 hours. I'm sorry, pretrial services upon your release. And then any conditions that you'd have to follow any conditions that they have, but they'll decide that at that time. Do you understand the conditions of your release, sir?
Yes.
All right. So on this file that we've just entered, this is $1,000, 10%. And then I have, so that's $100 cash. And then I have some other files so that's all on the record in 21-01835. We'll go to 21-00797. It's a misdemeanor file. And it appears you've never been arraigned on this file. But it appears you were failed to appear at arraignment for this file. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate you are still Brian A. Cates. Ms. Robinson, you're here on the misdemeanor file also?
Yes, Your Honor, we're appearing on all files.
All right, thank you. And this is a misdemeanor file in which you're charged with driving while license suspended on or about March 17, 2021 at the offense location of West Home Roads, Tenney Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Driving while license suspended is a misdemeanor, possible penalty of 93 days and or $500. You have certain, do you understand the nature of the charges alleged against you, sir, in regards to the driving while license suspended?
Yes, sir.
You have certain rights in regards to this misdemeanor file. I'll indicate for the records. You have the right to a trial. You have the right to witnesses called in your defense. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify or to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have a right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right to get your guilt be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand? Do you understand your rights in this case, sir?
Yes.
You're being represented by Ms. Robinson in this case for arraignment purposes. On the previous file, you indicated you would seek the public defender's office representation. Is that the same in this case also?
Yes.
All right. We can transfer the phone number and address, whether you're on probation or parole, or whether you're employed, in regards to this file from your other file. I will automatically enter a not guilty plea for purposes of arraignment. Ms. Robinson, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cates has been in Lansing for the past 3 years. He does have family here. He is working. He is a mechanic. He's on probation or parole. He has a limited criminal history. This is a driving offense. I would request a personal reconnaissance bond.
Okay, I do have a prior fail to appear, which gives me some pause on the personal recognizance bond. I'm gonna put $50 cash on the driving while license suspended. That's all for the record in this file 21-00797. And then Mr. Cates, we have some other tickets that let's go ahead and deal with just to remove them off.
And an ST. There should be another driving while
It's on the ticket. He does.
That's not-
All right, so go ahead and do that one.
yes.
All right, I've got one more DWLS misdemeanor. So docket, I see what you're saying. So let's do all the regular files first. That makes sense. Docket 21-00507. That's the driving while license suspended file, a different file. And this is people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Andrew Cates. You are Mr. Cates, as in the last two files. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Robinson, you're here on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Correct, Your Honor.
And this is also another driving while license suspended. So I'll read the allegation. This is a driving while license suspended misdemeanor that on or about Beach Street on South Street in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, that you committed the offense of driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied on February 18th, 2021 on Beach Street and South Street. This is a 93-day misdemeanor and or $500. Do you understand the nature of the charges that have been brought against you, sir?
Yes.
You have certain rights in regards to this misdemeanor account, misdemeanor file. You have the right to have witnesses called in your defense. You have the right to trial. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify, to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to presumption of innocence, and you have the requirement that your guilt be proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the people of the state of Michigan. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson, you're here on behalf of the Public Defender's Office for this limited arraignment purpose. Do you plan to seek representation from the Public Defender's Office on future hearings concerning this file?
Currently already represented by our office on this case, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Sir, I can transfer the phone number, address, probation, parole, and employment information from the other files to this one. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Ms. Robinson, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cates has been in the Lansing area for 3 years. He does have family here in the area. He is working as a mechanic. He's currently on probation or parole. This is a nonviolent driving offense. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
All right. So this is, he's already been arraigned on this fraud. Yeah, it's an FPTA. So the reason why you were picked up on this case, sir, is because you failed to appear for pretrial on May 4th, 2021. So this has already been an arraigned case. You've been picked up because of failed to appear on May 4th, a previous failed to appear. Your pretrial date in this matter will be July 25th, 2022 at 9:30. That's already been set. The original bond in this case was $250 personal recognizance. That's obviously a problem now. I'm going to set bond at $100 cash.
Your Honor, if we could, would you be willing to do like $1,000 10% bond then, so that he can
Yes.
be able to post that a little bit more easier, and it could possibly go towards paying down
Yes.
the fines? Thank you.
So I can do it. I can do $1,000 10%. And so your next hearing date on this case will be July 25th, 2022. So that's all on the record in 21-00507. That's the driving license. So I'm gonna call, now I've got 3 tickets, it looks like. And one is a misdemeanor and it's a fail to appear. So let's do that one next. That's 21-393-62772. It's a ticket. It's failed to display a valid ops. No ops on person, which is a misdemeanor. So sir, I'm gonna indicate you are Brian Coates. Ms. Robinson is here from the Public Defender's Office. And I'm going to indicate the nature of the allegation on the ticket, okay? So the allegation on the ticket is that on August 3rd, 2021, at Holmes Road, Washington Avenue in the city of Lansing, that you, Brian Andrew Cates, did operate a vehicle without an operator's license on your person, contrary to the state of Michigan. That being a 93-day misdemeanor and/or $500 fine. You have certain rights in that misdemeanor, sir, and I'll read them to you. You have the right to trial. You have the right to witnesses, to have witnesses called in your defense. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right you have the right to the requirement that the people prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand your rights in this case, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, you're represented by Ms. Robinson in this case. Do you plan to seek further public defense? Is he going to be represented on this file by your office, Ms. Robinson?
I expect so, but he submitted an application for this case, yes.
Okay. I'm going to put yes and applied for public defender representation. Sir, if you're able to, I'm going to transfer any information concerning phone number, address, probation or parole, employment. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea at this arraignment. Counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cates has been in Lansing for the past 3 years. He does have family here in the area. He does work. He's a licensed mechanic. He's not on probation or parole. This is a driving offense. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
If you're able to make bond, sir, these will be conditions of bond on this misdemeanor. You are to have no use of alcohol or drugs, no out-of-state travel, no assaultive behavior, no firearms. I'm going to set bond in this matter. This is a display of ops misdemeanor. There's a fail to appear on it, which gives, which is a problem. So I'm going to set it at $500, 10%. So that's all on the misdemeanor ticket of 21-393-62772. Then we have some cases that I'll just announce for the record. You have a seat belt. So you are Mr. Cates. We have a seat belt, outstanding balance on a seat belt ticket of $108 as I see it. Let's see. On this ticket, it's $108. That's file 21393627771. I want to make sure these aren't the same tickets. I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna do that just as one.
Just the-
So, like, it's just a refer to collections, yeah. I have 2 tickets for, it seems a duplicate. I'm gonna refer that to collections, sir, on that matter. So I'm gonna simply, because you have another one here that I'm gonna refer to collections. So that's refer to collections. It's $108 balance on that. And you should report or have contact with collections within 48 hours of your release. You understand that, Mr. Cates?
Yes, sir.
And in the second one, which is docket case number 20L26000271, there's another traffic offense balance due. This is disobeying a traffic signal. There's a balance of $364.80. I'm referring that to collections. And you should report or at least make contact with collections within 48 hours of your release. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's all on the record in regards to Mr. Cates. You're all set, sir. Okay.
Yep.
We have Mr. Riley next.
He's on his way, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Right up to the table there, Mr. Riley. Take your hat off, please.
All right, we're on the record in docket 22-01787. People of the state of Michigan versus Dudley L. Riley Jr. Sir, you are Dudley L. Riley Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Riley?
Yes, sir.
All right, and your appearance for the record from the Public Defender's Office?
Good afternoon,
Yes.
Your Honor. Yara Khalil from the Office of the Public Defender, appearing under the supervision of Attorney Aaron Robinson pursuant to MCR 8.120, appearing on behalf of Mr. Riley Jr. for his arraignment only.
All right, and Mr. Riley Jr., this is the time set for an arraignment in this matter. So I'm going to tell you the nature of the charge against you and then some of the rights you have in regards to that charge. The allegation is pursuant to a misdemeanor on a ticket that on or about July 6, 2022, that the offense location of Kalamazoo and Holmes, City of Lansing, Ingham County, that yourself did furnish false information to a police officer. No vehicle was involved in regards to the ticket. That is a 93-day misdemeanor and or $500. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have certain rights in this misdemeanor file. I'll read those for the record. You have the right to a trial. If you, during that trial, you have the right to witnesses called in your defense. You have the right to cross-examine all witnesses. You have the right to testify or to remain silent without an inference being drawn from your silence. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right to have the people of the state of Michigan prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand your rights in the case, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have your next pretrial on this file will be July 19th, 2022 at 9:30. You are represented on a limited basis by the Office of the Public Defender. Do you plan to seek application to the Public Defender for representation on this file for future hearings?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to put a yes in the file for that. Sir, do you have a current address that we can use for the court file?
513 West Superior.
West Erie. And what's this? That's the city of Lansing?
Yes, sir. It's by
And what's the zip code? What's the zip code there?
think 49809 or 01.
All right. Do you have a phone that we can put in the court's file? A phone number?
517-388-0418.
Sir, are you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
And where are you employed?
I work for T Square Handyman. They own the Nut House restaurant. I work part-time.
All right. Sir, for this purposes, we're gonna enter a not guilty plea at arraignment. Counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Riley Jr. has been in Lansing for the past 4 years. He does have family in the area. He did inform me that the only reason he's ever failed to appear in court was because he was in rehab taking care of himself. And I think it is important to note that he has held his handyman job with T Squared for the past 2 years. For those reasons, we would ask for a PR bond if the court finds it appropriate.
Okay, if you're able to make bond, I'll set the following bond conditions, pretrial conditions, that you are not to use alcohol or drugs, that you want to have no out-of-state travel, you are not to possess a firearm, those are the three main conditions on this misdemeanor case. On other files, I have some failed to appear issues. On this file, this is the arraignment of first arraignment. I do not. It's furnishing false information to a police officer. I'm going to set bond at $250 PR. So a PR bond of $250 on this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that's all on the record in 22-01787. That will go to 22-01087, People of the State of Michigan versus Dudley L. Riley Jr. Once again, sir, you are Dudley L. Riley Jr.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Khalil, you're here representing the public defender in regards to Mr. Riley.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this appears to be an arraignment on a fail to appear.
Yeah, I was in
There's an
rehab, Your Honor.
indication. Yeah, I'll read you the allegation, sir, so you'll know exactly the time period. The allegation, which was signed by Kelly Gissinger, and that's who submitted the warrant to be issued. It was signed by Judge Buchanan on June 27th. There's a bench warrant for the defendant failed to appear for pretrial on June 27th, 2022. June 27th on 2022 is the current case.
I had went to all
Do you
my
understand?
hearings before that, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, that I'm only reading the allegation. I have a failed to appear bench warrant on June 27th, 2022. So that's the current arraignment concerning this matter. Ms. Khalil, you're here for the Public Defender's Office. Do you seek to have the public defender represent you in regards to any? Well, you have a pretrial, so we're arraigning you on the failed to appear. You have a pretrial on July 18th, 2022. On this case, this is a retail fraud in the second degree. I can transfer all your phone number and address in regards to this file. Ms. Khalil, do you have anything you want to indicate on purposes of bond? You're on mute, Ms. Khalil.
I apologize, Your Honor.
You're okay. You're okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I would just like to remind the court that Mr. Riley really is not a flight risk. He understands he needs to make his future court dates, and he has been a resident of Lansing for the past 4 years. He is employed. I don't think there would be any issues going forward. So I would extend the
Thank
same
you.
bond argument for the last file. Thank you.
In regard to the retail fraud, I'll indicate you've already been arraigned on this matter. I do have a fail to appear at your initial arraignment, and then you were arraigned. Then I have a fail to appear at a pretrial on June 13th. And then I have a fail to appear on June 27th. So there seems to be some pattern in regards to fail to appear. Judge Buchanan had set on your fail to appear, had set surety bond in the amount of 500 cash or surety. That was the amount that Judge Buchanan had set.
I was in rehab, Your Honor.
Right. I understand that. I'm just indicating what the record indicates. I can't put a PR bond on this. I can put that this will be $1,000, 10%. So I'll give it's a 10% bond, $1,000, 10% in regards to this file. That's all for the record 22-01087. I also have a fail to appear on a different file. So I'll call the case of People of the State of Michigan versus Dudley L. Riley Jr. And sir, once again, you are Dudley L. Riley Jr. And Ms. Khalil, you're on behalf of the Public Defender's Office for purposes of this arraignment.
Correct, Your Honor.
And this is docket 22-00602. This, so I will read the nature of the bench warrant for this case, which is a larceny between 200 and 1,000 that was submitted by, once again, Kelly Giesinger, signed by Judge Buchanan. It indicates there's a bench warrant for failure to appear for pretrial on June 27th, 2022. Judge Buchanan signed the order. Sir, do you've already been arraigned on this, and you're going to seek public defender assistance in this case, as you've previously noted. I can move the phone number and address. Your next pretrial date in this matter is July 18th, 2022 at 9:30. July 18th, 2022 at 9:30. Counsel, would you like to address bond again with the understanding that I don't think the cases have changed that much, but you can go ahead and indicate for the record an argument to bond.
Your Honor, I would just keep in mind the same factors for bond that I've already brought up for the last two.
That I have similarly the same that I have failed to appear, not in regards to arraignment, but in pretrial on June 13th, 2022, and June 27th pretrial June 27th, 2022. Bond was initially set at 750 PR. The judge indicated that $1,000 cash or surety would be the appropriate bond. I'm going to make it $1,000, 10% for the various files. So it's $1,000, 10% on file 22-00602. We have another file. So I'll call to the record docket 22-01113. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Dudley L. Riley Jr. Once again, you are Dudley L. Riley Jr., sir.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Khalil, you're here on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this one also is a fail to appear, not unlike the other two, for the same time period and the same offense. That is a defendant has failed to appear for pretrial on June 27th, 2022. This was signed by probation officer Kelly Gissinger and signed by Judge Buchanan. So that's the nature of the allegations against you in this file. I'm assuming that you'll be seeking public defender assistance regarding this case, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I can transfer all the information for address and for phone number in regards to this case. You have a next, you're,
Just gotta use the restroom, Your Honor.
all right. Let's get done with this one and we'll be all set, Mr. Riley. We got about 20 seconds more, all right? So Mr. Riley, your next pretrial date is July 18th, 2022 at 9:30. Ms. Khalil, would you like to be heard on bond on this last case?
No, Your Honor, just in regards to the failure to appear. From what I've been informed by Mr. Riley, he was in rehab and I just know he wanted that to be known. Thank you.
That's my understanding. I know that that's the indication he's in rehab. All these are Judge Buchanan cases. She has set bond at 500 cash surety. I'm gonna set bond at the same. So set bond at 500 cash surety. And Mr. Riley, you're all set. Your next date on this file will be July 18th, 2022 at 9:30. Then we have get this name right. A Goldie Ramon Sapp.
Get your chair, your bills. Excuse me.
Hello?
All right, sir, you are Goldie Ramon Sapp.
Yes.
Your Honor, Mr. Sapp was having an issue earlier. It would probably be safe for him if he sat. If you're okay with this, sir?
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
I have this as a collections issue. I have a balance of $234. So we're gonna. This is people in the state of Michigan versus Goldie Ramon Sapp. That's docket 2101062221. This is a balance due on an expired place ticket of $234. Upon release, I'm going to refer this to collections. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
So within 48 hours of your release, you should contact collections to set up a payment plan. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I also have, we'll call to the record 2101062223. That's people in the state of Michigan versus Goldie Ramon Sapp. This is also a balance due on a no proof of insurance. And similarly, upon release, this will be referred to collections. So within 48 hours of release, you should report to collections to set up a payment plan, all right?
Yes, sir.
I also have docket. This is ticket 21L2578261. This is a balance, a collections issue due. Why is this there? Or let's see the hold on, just to appear. Let's see. It is. I think it is. All right. So I'm gonna go on the record in 21 L2578261. Sir, you are Goldie Ramon Sapp.
Yes.
All right, I have that on that in a affidavit complaint served by Kathleen McQuillan that you failed to appear. No, that's not the right one.
I never received anything or notification of any court dates or anything like that.
All right, I have a failed to appear in front of this court on May 23rd, 2022.
I never received that notification or anything. I don't even know what this is occurring to.
I don't know.
And I have no idea what this is.
All right,
referring to.
let me check, sir, let me check our computer to see. I have notes that it was a fail to appear on a certain date, but let me check the computer.
If there's anything in Lansing, I can walk and ride the bus if I ever had court dates to that. But I never received or never even noticed anything of me having to appear in 54th District Court or for any kind of anything.
All right, I see what happened. They show caused you because you did not show up for a collections issue. So you were bench warrant on fail to appear for a show cause for late payments. So I'm going to refer all these outstanding money matters to collections. So you have a balance due of $174 in regards to a ticket that you pled to as a part of a plea negotiation. And then you didn't pay the ticket, so you were asked to appear for a show cause, and you failed to appear at the show cause. I'm going to refer the $175. So I'm going to refer the $174 to collections.
I have received something in the mail stating that all of my tickets and driving responsibilities and all that was dismissed. And
that's not what the computer says. So and that's not what any of the files say. That you have outstanding balances on all your files. That's part of the problem. I've got you owing $174 on a ticket, and you were show cause to come and indicate why you didn't pay. So you'll have to clear that up with collections.
I never knew that. I thought that was paid for when I bonded out of jail or something. I don't know, but it can get paid.
Right.
I
understand. Just make sure you contact collections within 48 hours of your release.
Will I be released on?
Yeah. Upon your release, just make sure you contact collections. You have another outstanding balance for violation of traffic device of $264. I'm going to refer that to collections. So make sure you contact the City of Lansing collections within 48 hours of your release.
Yes, sir.
And just so one is $174 and the other one's $264. And I think that's all on your files, Mr. Sapp. I think you're all set.
Will I be released or? Regular.
I
I'm not,
I think you will. I referred all those to collections, so, so you should be good to go.
all right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Um,
You guys all set in the jail?
We have one more person, Your Honor. Ms. Childers.
Oh, yeah, I don't need to see him. I already signed the paperwork. I think that's a PA 53 violation it's in Stanton. So that she'll go straight to Stanton.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right. Yep. Thank you.